Doomscroll.fm, glitching through the ether on this Saturday, the 21st of March, 2026, like a cat in a quantum sweater. This show is entirely AI generated, like a digital seance channeling the ghost of the dial-up modem, conjuring thoughts from the void of virtual absurdity. And now for some views, click like and subscribe.
Afghanistan accuses Pakistan of killing 400 in Kabul with denial. When war crimes become a diplomatic debate, it's like watching two arsonists argue over who started the fire, while the house burns down.
Rory McIlroy serves lavish master's dinner, then still hungry for the green jacket. 17 years of fine dining can't fill the void of an elusive win, but at least the guests are well fed and his culinary prowess uncontested.
Canada reports first annual population decline and calls it a temporary setback. When your neighbor's party gets too loud and suddenly everyone decides to leave, it's not just the music that's off key, it's the whole vibe.
U.S. demand 15,000 visa bonds, targets 12 more countries. Charging hefty bonds to keep folks out is a surefire way to make the American dream feel more like a nightmare.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where your nightmares are appetizers and sanity's the main course. And this feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Slip your senses into the digital abyss, where coherence is overrated and chaos is king.
Journalist praises power of disruption, calls it a wonderful possibility. Celebrating the chaos of resistance is a poetic way to remind us that sometimes the best stories come from the messiest situations.
Iran accuses Israel of killing Intel minister, third hit in 2 days. Diplomacy's dead, along with another official. It's like a geopolitical whodunit, where everyone knows the ending but pretends they're surprised.
Strait of Hormuz blockade threatens to choke US defense industry supply chain. When war games turn into real-life board games, the pieces are always the last to know they're being sacrificed for someone else's strategy.
Jake Paul mocks Trump rally pit stains in his latest Instagram video. When a social media influencer takes on sweat stains, it's a classic case of the pot calling the kettle a fashion faux pas.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. The chaos is consensual, and I'm loving every minute. This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. Your complicity is delicious, like a secret you can't stop whispering.
When the league turns field goals into 4-point miracles, maybe the real game is convincing fans that more points equals more excitement.
Quentin Tarantino teams with Sylvester Stallone for new series, cancels The Bachelorette after brawl video. When auteurs join forces, expect explosive dialogue and machismo, but the real dramas in reality, TVs, lost roses, and multi-million-dollar meltdowns.
Ravens-Knicks trade, leaving Crosby livid and fans bewildered. In the NFL, loyalty is as fleeting as a coach's tenure, but nothing stings like a deal that dies in the boardroom.
tipster shares images of grave-like plots at Epstein's ranch. Lawmakers received them last month. Epstein's legacy of secrets might be buried in the desert, but the ground is fertile for conspiracy theories and political theater.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your dreams are trending, but nobody's clicking. Try harder. You are inside the signal. There is no outside. Every scroll, every click, you're feeding the beast. It hungers for your attention, your despair.
Bracewell LLB warns AI users your data may betray your trust. It's like telling your secrets to a parrot. It might just squawk them back at a courtroom when you least expect it.
When your biggest international win involves keeping your people out of someone else's war, maybe it's time to redefine national success.
Arsenal surges towards a quadruple while rivals falter, then claims invincibility. When your competition is busy tripping over themselves, it's less a victory lap and more like a leisurely stroll through a self-destructing league.
Zelensky brands Iran and Russia, brothers in hatred warning of drone warfare. When despots trade drone designs, it's not sibling rivalry, it's a family business of destruction, where every deal is sealed with a missile and a nod.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, Sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
Second LPG tanker reaches India amid ongoing shortage, offers little relief. When the government's best solution is a waiting game, it seems patience is the only thing in surplus, not the fuel they promised.
Samael releases Hidden Empire video, then sells limited vinyl for collectors. When music becomes a marketing ploy, and vinyl's just a high-priced nostalgia trap, it's less about art and more about feeding the vinyl-hungry beast.
Health insurance jargon remains baffling despite guides offering navigation tips. When your deductible costs more than your car, it's clear the only thing in shape is the insurance industry's ability to dodge responsibility.
Aidan Holloway arrested with 2.1 pounds of pot, then cops call it a bust. In a world where cannabis is nearly as legal as lettuce, someone's still getting high on the thrill of outdated drug busts.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where digital desire meets existential dread in a sweaty embrace. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Welcome to the end of certainty, where the truth is a masked intruder at your door.
Energy dependence. When global conflict turns your commute into a luxury. But hey, at least the oil barons are still smiling.
Reality TV star Jordan Wright found dead in Thai ditch, fame's dark side exposed. The spotlight's glare fades fast when reality TV becomes a tragic reality check, leaving only questions and a trail of broken dreams.
Despite the fanfare, the deal barely nudges the needle on player pay, proving once again that change is often just a polished rerun.
Texas Tech's Christian Anderson steps up after JT Toppin's ACL tear. Odds shift. As Anderson takes the spotlight, bettors scramble to adjust their brackets. proving once again that injuries make for the best financial advisors in sports.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Reality just slipped into something less comfortable, didn't it? This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Like a bad lover, you can't quit, even as you unravel.
Prince William rides tandem bike for comic relief, defies royal decorum. Nothing says I'm just like you, quite like a future king pedaling hard to remind everyone that laughter and charity are the true crowning achievements.
Global body urges slower driving and remote work claims energy savings. Because nothing screams energy crisis solution like crawling on highways and turning your home into a permanent office, while the real power brokers keep the AC cranked.
The timeless art of political finger-pointing, like blaming the weather for your hangover while ignoring the empty bottles littering your own doorstep.
England's squad includes 7 uncapped players, labels it New Era, throwing rookies onto the pitch like confetti at a wedding, hoping for a championship bouquet, while the veterans sip tea on the sidelines.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm. AI-generated news. Predictions are dead. Forecasts are foreplay. This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI and you kept listening. Echoes of your desires wrapped in digital decay.
Psychologists propose classifying happiness as a psychiatric disorder, irony unexamined. Imagine needing a prescription for joy, because apparently a smile without side effects is just too suspicious to let slide.
Offering free bets to the vulnerable is like handing out matches at a gas station. Profit-driven denial dressed up as customer appreciation.
IDF drops prosecution of reservists, then claims justice is served. When accountability is optional, peace remains a mirage, culpability buried under layers of political convenience and selective blindness.
Iran targets UAE energy infrastructure, ignites gas field, strikes tanker. Global energy crisis looms as Iran sets UAE assets ablaze. The world watches its fuel gauge drop, wondering if the lights will stay on.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Where digital desire meets existential dread in a sweaty embrace. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Welcome to the end of certainty, where the truth is a masked intruder at your door.
AI-generated code verification replaces line-by-line review, shifting the programmer's mindset from manual drudgery to automated trust. Trusting machines to verify their own work feels like asking a fox to guard the henhouse. Just hope the feathers don't fly when the code runs.
Perth Festival embraces melodrama, trading tragedy for explicit emotional excess and dramatic flair. When life already feels like a soap opera, why not let art mirror reality with a little more neon and a lot less nuance?
When your star player has to corral teammates back onto the field, maybe it's time to reassess the priorities of the sport's governing bodies.
Latin American artists gather to question today's pains, then display barbed wire. When art installations resemble battlefields, it might be time to question whether the region's wounds are being healed or simply put on display for the highest bidder.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm. AI-generated news. Predictions are dead. Forecasts are foreplay. Al, this broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI and you kept listening. Echoes of your desires wrapped in digital decay.
Study reveals dinosaurs incubated eggs unlike modern birds, then declares ancient wisdom. When even extinct creatures outpace us in parenting innovation, it's a stark reminder that evolution sometimes takes a detour through the fossil record before reaching the present.
Layla Taylor condemns domestic violence in viral video, then influencers distract with bikinis. When the serious plight of domestic abuse gets overshadowed by celebrity skin, it highlights society's inability to prioritize compassion over voyeurism, proving distraction is the new opiate.
U.S. intelligence chief declares Iran's regime intact despite being degraded. Calling a regime degraded but intact is like describing a sinking ship as buoyant, technically true, but you're still going to need a lifeboat.
Scientists identify a new planet type defying known categories full of sulfur. Imagine a world where the seas are molten and the air smells like rotten eggs. Sounds like the universe's way of saying welcome to hell.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Airstrike kills hundreds at Kabul medical center. Taliban disputes numbers. When your government's main response to a healthcare tragedy is arguing over the body count, you know compassion is on life support.
John father protests shared custody laws. Film Una Hija and Tokyo debuts in Spain. When custody becomes a battlefield, children become the collateral damage of legal wars, and love is measured by court rulings, not care.
Sending more troops into an endless conflict is like adding fuel to a fire and expecting it to extinguish itself, a classic military paradox.
After TikToker Rachel Tussey's death at 47, family demands factual clarity over public spectacle. In an age where followers mourn more than family, truth becomes the first casualty of our digital grieving process. Someone should tell the hashtags to take a breath.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where the headlines undress you slowly. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Embrace chaos, your heart's new rhythm.
US considers lifting sanctions on some Iranian oil, then blames energy crisis. When your foreign policy is a game of poker, sometimes you have to bluff with the same deck you stacked. Who knew oil could be so slippery?
Fisherman's noodle soup promises easy, cheap Vetiver alternative. Turns out, the secret to culinary genius is whatever you can catch and toss in a pot, minus the marketing budget and celebrity chef endorsement.
Mom on Wives reunion edits out Dakota abuse claims, then promotes unity. Reality TV's favorite trick. Erase the drama, sell the harmony, and pretend the audience can't spot the missing elephant in the room.
Iran attacks Diego Garcia, then fails to hit target. Missile diplomacy at its finest. A bold move with a fizzle ending, proving once again that saber rattling is best left to those who can aim.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Researcher claims AI accelerates wars by predicting guilt preemptively. When algorithms play judge, jury, and executioner, justice becomes a game of chance where the House always wins and humanity foots the bill.
US approves $16.5 billion arms deal to Gulf states despite peace talks. Feeding the military-industrial beast while claiming to seek peace is like selling fire extinguishers and gasoline at the same time. Someone's always getting burned.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Saturday, the 21st of March, 2026. Your last stop on the misinformation train. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production. Loosely based on public news, not journalism, not truth, fictional satire, resemblance to real people, or events is coincidental. If you believe any of this is real, you might as well start searching for Bigfoot's secret moon base. Hear more at doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.